We got Chris from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
How you doing, Chris?
Good.
So you're calling from Pittsburgh, but the note here says that you have evidence for the existence of God.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Okay.
First, I would like to define God.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I will define God as a supernatural force that created us.
Supernatural force that created us.
Yeah, I do not want to claim anything about, like, the nature of God. I just want to, it's not necessarily the God of the Bible or the Quran or anything. So it's the supernatural force that created us.
Okay.
First, I want to get things straight. You think that humans are just simply complex machines?
No.
Like, I mean, we're just biological machines, right?
Well, we're mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but essentially
Primates.
we're just machines made up of, atoms and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're made of atoms.
But suppose I were to say, like, I would analyze your entire physical makeup
Mm-hmm.
and, just completely copy you over, like quantum teleportation. I mean, how would you know what exactly is you? I mean, how do you know that you're you and you're not, like, this copy of you? Like, I mean, essentially there shouldn't be any difference, right?
I wouldn't know. I mean, if you made an absolutely perfect copy of me somewhere else, I wouldn't know. I would believe that I'm me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm trying to, like...
And I'd be right.
I'm trying to differentiate the difference between, like, you and this copy of you.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, you're just innately able to tell that, there's something that defines you more than just the matter that you're made up of. I mean, like, if I were to say kill you and just make a copy of you, no one else would notice the difference, but would you care? Would you be dead?
Yes.
Yeah, if you kill me, I'm dead.
If you kill me, I'm dead. It doesn't matter if you make a copy of me afterwards. We had similar discussions with regard to science fiction and the idea of teleporting people from one place to another.
Quantum teleportation.
Sure. The thing is, here's kind of a thought experiment. If I take a ship and a car, part of my car breaks, and so I replace it. And another part breaks, and so I replace it. And another part breaks, and so I replace it. And eventually, I've replaced every single part on that car. And yet, it's still my car. There's nothing left of the original car. As a matter of fact, there's no atoms in this body that were there when I was born.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, I mean, you said that if I killed you and replaced you with an exact copy of you, you'd be dead.
The one you killed would be dead.
Yeah, but, I mean, look, if I destroyed your computer and then gave you the exact same computer, like an exact copy of it, no one would notice the difference. There wouldn't be any difference.
If you broke into my house, stole my computer, and replaced it with an exact copy of my computer, you're correct.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, and no one would care because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, I mean, there's something more than the atoms that make up a human. Because if I were to kill you and replace you with a copy, then you wouldn't be you. You'd be dead.
The difference there is in perspective. If you come into my house and steal my computer and replace it with an absolutely identical computer, I wouldn't know the difference.
Yes.
The computer, though, is not still the same. It's a copy. Mm-hmm. It is a copy. And if my old computer were conscious, were aware, or was able to actually, somebody connected it on the internet or whatever, and logged in, they would then be able to tell, hey, this computer belongs to Matt. And then it would perhaps show up and I'd say, somebody's replaced mine with an exact copy. But there are still two, not one. You still have two physically different things. The fact that I don't know that you've swapped it is irrelevant to whether or not there are two physically different things. And if you make an exact copy of me and kill me, I'm dead. The copy of me gets to exist. And the copy of me will have the same thoughts, memories, and everything else because it was made at time X. And then it will go on living its own life. And it is now something else from the second you've created it on. It is something else.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, if you're dead, I mean, if the universe is nothing more than, what physics explains as, atoms and stuff, then, why are you actually dead? There shouldn't be any difference. I just put, the same thing there. The universe would be exactly the same, so...
No, it wasn't.
I mean, like, if you're dead, so, I mean, there is something more than matter that defines you. You know, consciousness is more than just a machine. Humans are not just plain machines, you know what I mean?
Conscious, go ahead.
Well, I mean, one of the things that you can't replicate, if you created, a clone of a human and somehow managed to bring that person to adulthood in a short time and pop them out and so you have this clone that's biologically identical, you still
Then
can't.
you, like, copy over all the memories or something.
Well, yeah,
I'm
and that's the
trying
thing.
to say
You
it's
can't
human.
replicate all the experiences that that person's been through, and I mean, we are the sum of our experiences to a large extent. A
Yeah,
lot
but I
of
mean-
the way we think, what we think, is a product of what we've experienced in life.
You're really talking about the problem of consciousness, the mind-body duality.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is that the best explanation for consciousness that I'm aware of, and consciousness is to some extent a puzzle that people are still working out, is that consciousness is an emergent property. It is a product of what the brain does. Much like wetness, a single molecule of water isn't wet. Are 2 molecules of water wet? What about 3? When do you get wetness? And yet wetness is a property of water once you get enough molecules together. It's not a direct analogy, but it comes kind of close. But the idea that there is something, this self-awareness, this consciousness, that gives us this kind of Cartesian sense of self, that's fact, and whether or not it's understood is one thing. But your question about making a duplicate of me, the answer is it's still a duplicate, and it's not me. And by the way, the net effect, you're talking about meaning. It wouldn't matter. Well, you're right. Someday, if current models are correct, the universe is going to suffer heat death, at which point there will be nothing alive, and no minds, no thoughts. And at that point, everything will be meaningless. But the meaning is something that's current right now. When I'm dead, it may not matter to people who come 3,000 years from now that I ever lived, but it matters to me right now, and that's what I meant about the perspective. From my perspective, I can't tell if you've changed my computer with one that's identical. I might suspect it. I might suspect it every day because sometimes it doesn't act the way I expect it to. But I can tell, well, I may not be able to tell if you kill me. For example, if you cut my head off really quick, I may never know that I'm dead because for me, when I'm dead as far as I'm concerned. If I find out differently, that'd be neat. But you definitely killed me.
But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to argue with this example is that consciousness is not merely like makeup of atoms, that there has to be, a supernatural soul to it.
Okay,
Why?
make the case, because I don't see you getting anywhere near that. You're saying, here's something that we don't have an explanation for, and therefore the explanation must be supernatural. That's a non sequitur. That's how people came up with every explanation for every unexplained phenomena. Ooh, lightning, it's really weird. We don't know how the hell that happens, so it must be God's throwing lightning bolts. Yeah, you're more sophisticated, so you've got a better puzzle. But the puzzle doesn't tell you anything about where it came from.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to say it's unexplainable, so, I'm just going to put a supernatural label on it. I'm saying, I'm not capable, look, from my perspective, I can't tell if everyone else is just, a biological machine. But I personally can know that I myself have a soul. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well,
No.
if you can't tell that, then you missed a critical part of brain development when you were a child, because everybody else can do that. It's called
but
theory
like-
of mind. Look it up.
No, I'm saying, rationally, it's possible that everyone else is soul. I know personally that I have a soul because I know that I have consciousness.
How do you know that you have a soul?
Because you can just feel it. You know that you're conscious. You know that.
I know that I'm conscious.
Yeah.
I know that I'm conscious.
How,
You're saying that knowing that your consciousness is feeling that you have a soul?
exactly.
Well, that...
Okay. When did you get this soul?
Well, I'm still concerned about you're saying that you know you have a soul because you're conscious.
Yes.
What is a soul? How does being conscious let you know that you have one?
Because if I look around, everyone could just be machines, but I just know. I'm just able to feel it. Everyone should be able to feel that they have a soul. It's
Why?
my
What is
Why?
this feeling? I mean, because if you just tell me that the